Dear brothers and sisters in Christ, good morning. Happy Wednesday. Today, Wednesday, May 13th, Wednesday of the 6th week of Easter. Tomorrow is Ascension Thursday. It's a holiday obligation, 40 days after Easter. And so we'll be celebrating the Ascension of the Lord. So I hope to see you in Mass tomorrow. But we're still at Easter time. The Easter season will end a week from Sunday with Pentecost on May 24th. Today we're continuing our reflection on this beautiful hymn, the Exalted Easter Proclamation. 2 more weeks, this one and the next. So we're headed towards the end of the text. Beautiful, very beautiful lyrics, beautiful text. Here you see week 6. It's divided into 4 verses. Actually, it's divided. This section is divided into 2 parts, 2 and 2, basically. The first part actually again talks about the night of resurrection. And the second part talks about the Paschal candle. So let's take a look at both. So the text mentions the night of resurrection, the night when Jesus rose from the dead multiple times, and here again the text presents us with another kind of almost contradictory statement, this image which humanly speaking doesn't make sense. Here it says this kind of section here. Give me a second. This night shall be as bright as the day, the night of resurrection. Dazzling is the night for me and full of gladness. Of course, the night is dark, in and of itself, right? Well, but the night in which Jesus rose from the dead actually is as bright as the day. And of course, the text here wants to express the scope, the detail, the scope of this extraordinary event of resurrection that dispelled all the darkness to a point the night became as bright as the day, full of gladness. And again, it's a contradictory statement, it's an impossible image, but to express this great truth of the might of this event, this powerful might of this event. And then the next verse is the one I like the most of this hymn. It talks about the power of this night, the power of resurrection, the effects of resurrection in our lives. The sanctified power of this night dispels wickedness, first of all, washes faults away, restores innocence to the fallen, and joy to mourners, drives out hatred, fosters concord, and brings down the mighty. Very beautiful. This night, the night of resurrection, dispels wickedness, evil, and washes faults away, and gives us innocence and joy, drives out hatred, fosters concord, and brings down the mighty, humility. But these are effects of resurrection, the effects Jesus, the risen Lord, brought into the world. And this is what we experience every day. That's our Christian experience. The end of wickedness dispelled, joy and concord is given to us, innocence is being restored. And then the next section, the next part, talks about, as I say, the candle, the Paschal candle. Why? Well, it talks also about the bees, right here, twice. The bees and also the mother bee. Especially the second part of this section talks about this pillar, the Paschal candle. So there are very few elements, very beautiful ones, important ones, striking elements that connected with the candle, because, well, the hymn is praising this candle. We know the praises of this pillar. What's the point? And why the candle? Why this pillar? Why praising this pillar? Why the bees? Well, we could also actually talk about candles, and the use of using candles in the Catholic Church for a long time. The importance of candles can also be a candle theology, so to speak. So actually, I'm gonna start by answering this question: why do we use candles in the Catholic Church? Candles, by the way, in the church should be made with beeswax. That's an important element. Why? Why beeswax? Why candles? So there was belief back in the days, Middle Ages, that bees were actually virgin insects. Before the bees would just give birth without intercourse. And so wax was regarded as the product of bees without intercourse with insects. So basically, the church took bees as an image of Mary. Mary who gave birth, Virgin Mary gave birth to the Son. So bees, in the same way, they produce wax in the virginal way. So that's the first element, the connection. Well, see, the church said there are similarities here. Bees are actually an image. You can consider them an image of Mary, so to speak, and the virginal birth of Jesus connected with wax. Then there is the other element, a few other elements actually, to the candles and wax and candles. First of all, the wick in the candle. The wick is mixed with wax. So the church started to look at wax and wick as humanity, the wax of flesh, and the soul of Jesus, the wick, which is embedded inside the flesh, like a wick is inside the candle. Like the actual candle, the wick burns, but the fuel is the wax, right? The wax is melted, and the wick absorbs the fuel, the wax, the melted wax, and the flame burns the wick and the wax. Well, this process actually was regarded as an image of Jesus' sacrifice on the cross. Like the wax and the wick, they are the fuel for the candle. So they produce light, but in order to produce light, they are consumed. They are burned. In the same way, Jesus, in order to give us light and life, had to die on the cross. His soul, divinity and humanity, soul and humanity, were consumed on the cross, the sacrifice of the cross, to produce this light, the light of resurrection. Hence, this correlation between the wax and the wick and Jesus' death and resurrection. That's why it's so important. Here it says, right, this light towards the end, it is fed by melting wax, drawn out by mother bees to build a torch so precious. And then it's incarnation of Jesus, its birth, the light fed by melting wax, fuel, if you wish, by melting wax. Then there's another element to the importance of candles, particularly Paschal candle. It's here. This fire, the fire of a candle, fire in two many flames divided yet never dimmed by shedding of his light. The resurrection is never dimmed by the shedding of itself. Like the candle, you can light a small candle, have a big Paschal candle. That's what we do on Easter Vigil. But the light of a candle is not dimmed by the fact that it's shared with other candles, smaller candles. The same, the resurrection is a gift to all of us, as an infinite gift, which cannot be exhausted by the fact that it's shared with others. Again, another correlation between the resurrection and the candle light, this image of candles and the light, and beautiful image. That's why the Paschal candle is so important. That's why we use candles in the church, made with beeswax. Again, the importance of bees. That's it for today. Take care. God bless.